A very good morning to Teacher Linda and my fellow friends. Today, I, Pugularisi Data of Kalirisin, will be explaining to you about Biology Form 4, Chapter 10.3, which is Mechanism of Heartbeat. Let's look into it, shall we?
First things first, let's look into the theme for this topic, which is Physiology of Humans and Animals. The content standards are: describe the human heartbeat in sinoatrial node, which is the pacemaker, atrioventricular node, bundle of His, and Purkinje fibers. The learning standards are: to communicate about the forces that cause the blood to circulate in humans by the pumping of the heart and the contraction of the skeletal muscles. So, as I mentioned just now, we will take a look at number 1, introduction. Number 2, blood circulation in humans by pumping of the heart and contraction of the skeletal muscles around the veins. And please pay attention as I will be giving a trivia quiz at the end of this session. So stay tuned. Let's start with the introduction here. Before explaining in detail about the blood circulation in humans, how is blood circulated to the whole body, you may ask? So basically, in every contraction, the heart acts as a pump that pumps blood to the whole body. This can be similar to a water pump pumping water to the whole tank. Other than that, since the heart is like a pump, then how is every heartbeat triggered and sustained? Well, the heart is made up of cardiac muscles, which is like here in the picture, that intersect and are connected with one another. This arrangement allows electric impulses to spread rapidly through the heart. At the same time, this stimulates the cardiac muscles to contract simultaneously and uniformly. So it sends like electric impulses in a fast rate throughout the heart, and this happens because cardiac muscles are myogenic. This means that the heart contracts and relaxes without receiving any impulse signal from the nervous system. In other words, it has a different path from the brain and nervous system. For example, if the cardiac muscles are stored in a warm oxygenated solution that contains nutrients, the muscles will contract and relax rhythmically on their own. So, a heart which is mainly made out of cardiac muscles can be taken away from the host, and if kept in a suitable environment, it will still pump on its own. This is why the easiest transplant in the medical world is the heart transplant. However, this does not mean that it is the most common transplant. For your information, the most common transplant is the kidney transplant. Now let us take a look of the blood circulation in humans. As you can see in the picture, this is the longitudinal section of the heart focusing at the location at the sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node, bundle of His, and Purkinje fibers. As you know, blood is circulated throughout the human body by the pumping of the heart and contraction of the skeletal muscles. Moving on, let us look at the location of these individual parts. Firstly, it is the sinoatrial node, which is this over here. This part's cells are also called as the pacemaker, for the rates at which these cells send out electrical signals determine the rate at which the entire heart beats. Basically, it is called the pacemaker as its cells confirm the rate of heartbeats. The sinoatrial node is also located in the right atrium of the heart, here. Before we continue, here is a little fun fact for you. This is a Medtronic Micra pacemaker. it is currently the world's smallest artificial pacemaker, and it is about the size of a vitamin pill. Other than a vitamin pill, as you can see in the picture here, it is about the size of a coin. Moreover, it is placed in the heart without any surgery. That makes it really amazing, right? After some research, I found out that it is a self-contained device that is inserted from a vein in the leg and brought to the heart. It is also does not require any wires, and it is implanted directly into the right ventricle of the heart. Lastly, its purpose is to send small electrical charges to stimulate a heartbeat. Okay, let us continue back to the part which is the atrioventricular node. The atrioventricular node is this white thing, and it is also located near the right atrium. Other than that, this here is the bundle of His, or also known as the atrioventricular bundle. So this bundle is located near the left ventricle. For better understanding, please do not confuse the atrioventricular bundle, aka the bundle of His, with the atrioventricular node. This is the atrioventricular node, and this is the bundle of His, or the atrioventricular bundle. Okay? Lastly, this is the Purkinje fibers. On the right, you can see it with the cardiac muscle, on the left without. So it's basically these yellow lines. Now let us take a look at the sequence of heart contraction that causes the pumping of the heart. Step 1 or process 1 is the sinoatrial node here, also known as SA node, generates electrical impulses. I have explained more about this just now. Step 2, electrical impulses spread rapidly in both the atria, which is the red spaces here, causing the atria to contract. Please follow the green line. And the contraction helps the atria to pump blood into the ventricles, as you can see in the black arrows. So from the atria to the ventricles. Next is step 3, process 3. The electrical impulses reach the atrioventricular node here. The impulses spread through the bundle of His, up until the Purkinje fibers and the apex of the heart. So from here, flow until here. Lastly, step 4, the electrical impulses spread from the apex of the heart to the whole ventricle wall. So from the apex to the ventricle wall. As a result, the ventricles contract, following the green line, to pump blood out of the lungs. So from the ventricle, pump it out from the lungs. Sorry, not lungs, it's heart actually. Pump it out of the heart. Okay. Before continuing again, let me give you another fact here. So, electrical impulses in the heart can be detected by putting electrodes on the skin. So this here is the electrodes, they put it on the skin, so can it detect electrical impulses that is made by the heart. The Electrocardiogram, which is this, is a record of the electrical activity that triggers every heartbeat. This is the electrocardiogram, or also known as ECG. Okay, let's continue again. During the heart is pumped, a lap-dap sound can be heard. For example, Okay, did you hear that? That is the lub-dub sound that I mentioned. Since you have heard it, do you know what causes this lub-dub sound? Well, the lub-dub sound is the sound of the closing sound of the valves in the heart. The first lub sound is produced when the tricuspid valve is closed. So here is a tricuspid valve. When this closes, it produces the lub sound. Next, the second dub sound is produced when the semilunar valve is closed. So here is a semilunar close to each other. When this closes, it produces the dub sound. Okay, let us look at the contraction of skeletal muscles around the veins now. The pumping of the heart in the distribution and flow of blood through the arterioles, and blood capillaries. This means that the flow of the blood is distributed through the arteries, arterioles, and blood capillaries. However, the force is produced by the pumping of the heart is insufficient for the blood flow to continue through the veins and to force gravity. So, this means that the force created by the pumping of the heart is not enough to pass through the veins and to force gravity. Besides, the force to flow against the force of gravity. The blood is forced to flow against gravity. This means from the leg to the heart, so it goes against gravity, goes up, right? So the presence of valve in the veins ensure that blood flows in one direction to the heart. This is similar to like a pipe that makes sure blood flows in only one direction to the heart. So, next slide. Other than that, the blood flow in the veins is assisted by the contraction of smooth muscles found in venule and vein walls, the contraction of skeletal muscle around the veins. So the contraction of skeletal muscles presses and constricts the veins. So it presses and constricts the vein here. This causes the valve to open, and allow the blood to flow to the heart. Then the valve is then closed. Then it's closed to prevent it from flowing back down to the foot. For your better understanding, let us watch the short clip that I have prepared.
Veins contain one-way valves that work in conjunction with skeletal muscles. When the skeletal muscles contract, the valves open, and blood is forced toward the heart. When the skeletal muscles relax, the valves close to prevent the backflow of blood away from the heart.
Okay. Now that I have finished explaining, let us recap what we have learned with this quiz that I have prepared. Okay, question 1. Name the main heart pacemaker. Is it A, atrioventricular node, B, sinoatrial node, C, Purkinje fibers, or D, atrium? I'll give you around 30 seconds to decide your answer. Okay, you can type in the chat box or do it in a piece of paper. I'll be giving you the answer in another 15 seconds. Ten more seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, drum roll. The answer is B, sinoatrial node. The sinoatrial node is also known as the pacemaker, yeah? So, congrats to whoever who got it correct, and I hope you get it correct next time to whoever got it wrong. Okay, next question. Question 2. What does the term myogenic mean? Is it A, the closing sound of the heart valves, B. The sequence of heart contraction that causes the pumping of the heart. C. The heart contracts and relaxes without receiving any impulse signal from the nervous system. Or D. It is to stimulate the cardiac muscle cells to contract simultaneously and uniformly. I'll give you around 30 seconds, same as just now, to type your answer in the chat box. Twenty more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Drum roll again. So the answer is C. The heart contracts and relaxes without receiving any impulse signal from the nervous system. So congrats again to whoever who got it correct, and better luck next time to whoever got it wrong.
Well, that is all for today. I hope you have learned from what I have explained. Thanks for watching. Bye!